everyone, it's Mayana and it's the start of a new vlog. I almost stole Monty's trademark and called it a vloggy vlog, but I'm like, I'm not trying to get sued. So anyways, so it's the start of a new vlog. This is the Black Romanticathon hosted by me and Deja. I'm gonna put the bingo board on the screen, hopefully editing me, because I'm lazy when I edit. Like, I don't even edit covers into mine. So I'm so sorry, I'm really lazy and I don't like editing covers into my videos, so I don't edit them into my vlogs. But anyways, so my goal is to just read Black authors. So I mean, I'm gonna be doing that all month anyways. My only issue with this is that my TBR is insane, and also a lot of the books I have on my Libby right now are not romance books. I think I have like 3 romance books that I'm gonna be trying to read for this vlog. I wanted to do like a bunch of my Kindle Unlimited romances, but just because of the time when my books came in on my Libby, I just can't. Okay, I would show y'all what I have on my Libby, but I'm on FaceTime with my sister and she's muted right now, so I'm not gonna, you know, show y'all the screen. But right now I'm reading The Bones of Ruin. I'm actually reading this because I've already had this book. I actually forgot I owned this. I had an arc of this book in a hardcover. I forgot I owned this. But I remember when I first got it, I really wanted to read it, and then Heather started talking about this and she was just saying how like it's like X-Men, and I remember that being like a thing that made me want to read it. She was like, it's like X-Men, like I don't get why it's not hyped up a lot. And I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna read it. It is YA, so I was kind of just putting it off, but I just kept looking at it and I just like, I'm gonna read it. So I started, and it's actually really good. I'm 30% through it right now. This is gonna be my book for the prompt of a book with a romance as a subplot. So this book is about this girl named Iris who cannot die. She is a tightroper, so this is a historical romance. It's not historical romance, sorry. It's historical. She's a tightroper and she cannot die, and that's her secret. Until somebody actually figures out her secret, and he introduces her to a bunch of other people who also have like superpowers, and they team together because they're looking for this guy's dad for unknown reasons. And he's like, if you help me find my dad, I'll give you clues about who you are, because even though she never dies, she's also like 17, but she cannot remember a lot of things in her life. So he helps her remember like where she's from and like her life and like these facts. And I think this book is so good. I think it's very unique. It's nothing like I've ever read before. This book has a low rating on Goodreads. It has a 3.6, which like isn't that low, but I just feel like this book should be a lot higher. I don't know why this book is rated so low. I mean, I guess because I know a lot of people are irritated with the fact that like she has a lot of guys in love with her, but like she's a black girl, so it actually makes a lot of sense, because why wouldn't they all be in love with her, you know? I like the characters. I like the character dynamics. I find the book funny. It gives like found family. Like, it's a lot of the things that I like, and this doesn't read like YA, because I was putting off, because y'all know I do not like YA. So I get scared with reading YA, and I've had this book since 2021, which was also the year I stopped reading YA. And so I was scared to pick up this book because I'm like, oh, this is going to be like YA. I'm not going to like it. This book does not read like YA, and I actually don't know why it's categorized as YA. I think this book fell under the spectrum of just being categorized as YA because they feel like it was like a different genre, then it wouldn't have got like a lot of readers. Because, I mean, besides the fact that she's 17, she's been alive forever. A lot of the other characters are older than her. So yes, really good so far. I'm having a lot of fun, so I'm reading that right now. This is probably what I'm going to be reading all day. Right now I'm just chilling, and I'm like, usually when I wake up I watch some YouTube videos, I chill for a little bit. I'm crocheting, I'm working on a project, which I'll probably be working on this entire vlog. This vlog, like, I'll have, so to warn you, like, this vlog, I will have romance books in this vlog, but they all won't be romance. I'll probably talk to you about the other books that I'm reading, just because like, I don't want this vlog to just be like, you know, just 3 days worth of reading. So I'll probably talk to you about the other books, but they'll all be black books that I'll be talking about. So I'll probably have 3 that actually fit a prompt, but I'll have like a lot of books read in this vlog. I hope. Maybe not, who knows. I could get into a reading stuff at any time, but I just wanted to warn y'all just in case, like, so y'all don't be confused, like, none of these books are romance. Like, I know that. I just want to put them in the vlog because I don't want this vlog to just, I don't want to read romance all week long. Like, I'm not that kind of reader. I can't just read a bunch of, I mean, I could, but I'm not in my romance era, basically. I do read romance. I read romance as like a palate cleanser, but I'm not in my romance era. I got a lot of fantasy books to catch up on. I got a lot of fantasy books to read. I got a lot of fantasy books to get out the way, especially black fantasy. Like I want to read The Final Strife, The Blood Trials, and Rage of Dragons. I want to read those. Not all this week, but those are ones I want to read this month. And Rage of Dragons is a series, so yeah. I just want to like talk about it because the sun is about to go down soon, and y'all know how it is. And I probably actually won't update for the rest of today just because I'm about to be chilling. But I'm working on me a crochet project. I'm working on a top and a skirt, so hopefully by the end of this week I'll be able to like show you that. And yeah. So it is Tuesday. I have 20 minutes before General Hospital comes on, so I need to get to talking. I'm in my soap opera era. They're very fun. They have good plots, so don't judge me. And also, I'm obsessed with Spencer and Trina, so don't judge me. But I gotta get through this fast because the episode looks interesting. Anyway, so I finished The Bones of Ruin last night and I gave it 4 stars. It was really good. The only thing is that it felt like something was missing. I don't know, like it just felt like something wasn't like completely there. And also I feel like the romance was a little bit off, which is sad because there's 3 love interests. And like personally, I don't mind that. Like I know a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, like why does this character have a lot of people in love with them? But like I actually don't care that much. Like I don't know, it makes sense. Like you never know how many people are in love with you, you know? So, also, I'm a very beautiful woman, so there could be 7 people in love with me at one time. But, like, it's very believable that 3 guys can have a crush on somebody at one time. Like, let's stop with, like, this whole, like, oh, like, I don't know why this character has so many people in love with them. And, like, I don't know. You don't know how many people love you, so stop being so insecure. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, I gave it 4 stars. It was really good. It is such an amazing book. It has a really good plot line. It's fun. It's never like dull. It's never boring. Like there's always something going on. The main character is black. Like it gave. And then I read a book called The Gatekeeper by K. Alex Walker, and I gave that one 3 stars. That one is about this girl who is an archaeologist, and it was about this god who lives on this island, and she ends up like getting swept away by the tide, and he saves her. And it's just about her like living amongst his people and getting to know him. And he's Polynesian, and like he's very sexy, like he's written very sexy, but unfortunately I thought the dynamic felt very flat. Like I just didn't care about their romance. I didn't find them very like fun. Like they didn't have any fun tropes. Like I don't know, it was just very like run-of-the-mill falling in love, and I just don't like that. I don't like books where it's just like they meet, they get to know each other, they fall in love. Like I want something interesting to happen. Like I don't know, like she had an attitude towards him, but I don't know why, because like I don't know, she kept saying that he was like he scared her and that she was like scared of him and like he was intimidating, but I felt like that was rude because he is like a pretty big guy. And like I just felt like I just didn't like that was written. I felt like that was really rude, but other than that, that was fine. I also read this book called Gothicana, but that's not a black book, but that's all I read since I last like updated y'all. I gave that 2 stars if anybody wanted to know. I wrote a review if you want to know more about it, but I haven't decided. Like I have a lot of Kindle books that I need to read, but yeah. Let me go get ready to watch my episode like somebody's damn grandma. Dog, my hair. Why does my hair look like this? Like, it doesn't look bad, but why does it, like, go out? Like, why does it go out like that? Okay, hello. So, it's a little hot, and I sweat easily, so don't look at my armpits, guys. Still for real. Tuesday. It's still Tuesday, and I just finished my book that I was reading. I read Holding Back the Years by, I want to say her last name is Thompson. Okay, so this book was like a friends with benefits to lovers type of story, and I didn't know that going into it because I don't really like friends with benefits to lovers. I think it's boring. I think friends to lovers is boring. I just feel like there's nothing fun. There's no fun dynamics, but there was no fun dynamics between them, honestly. It's black love. One thing I did like about it was that it took place in Michigan, and like they talked about places that I know, and that was really fun because a lot of the times like you'll see readers and they'll be like, oh, like this took place in like California and it was like near my area, and it's like, bitch, everybody's from California. Like, let's talk about somewhere like Wisconsin or something, I don't know, Utah, you know. So it felt good to be like from Michigan and it take place in like, especially for it to take place in an area that I know. Like they talked about Farmington Hills, which is not that far from me. I love Farmington Hills. So I really like that. Also, the main characters, the main love interest, his name is August Gardner, and if he was a real person, we probably would have been cousins, I'm not gonna lie, because of the last name. But he's not real. So yeah, but I just found it boring. It wasn't boring, it was okay, but I will say the dialogue was very cringy at first. Like, okay, let me read y'all this paragraph that I specifically screenshotted so that I could read it to y'all. So it says, okay, so this is like her just talking about her life, whatever. So she's like, there was Chanel, the resident slut. Okay, that was harsh, but she did sleep with my high school boyfriend, so she deserved it. In the corner next to the jukebox, that didn't. Damn, can I read? Jukebox is the thing that's fucking me up here. Like, it's such a tongue twister. In the corner next to the jukebox that didn't work was Montreal, the first guy ever dry humped. Good times. What I wouldn't give for a little dry hump actions right now. Truthfully, I was craving more than a Jean Jam. I can't remember the last time I'm not even gonna she does something. The last time I do something with my legs so wide and let loose. So yeah, that was the dialogue I was working with. I forgot if I want my hair like this or if I want to just put it into a little slick back ponytail, because I love the way, like, look at all of that hair, like, look at her, no, you need to get into it. Like, look at her. My hair has grown so much. It makes me so happy. The shrinkage is really real. I cut my hair right after my birthday. So my goal length is here, and I cut my hair. My hair was like here. I cut my hair after my birthday because I had a lot of heat damage, and I do not play about heat damage. Okay. You would think somebody who don't play about heat damage would make sure they use good heat protectant, but that's not here nor there. So I had heat damage, so I cut it, and yeah, so now it's back to the original length it was, and it's actually almost to the length I want it to be. So I think by my birthday my hair should be here, and it'll be so cute, and I think my curls will be like here. But I don't know, shrinkage is real, because once my hair dries, it'd be like here. But I wish my curls would be like this. I'm not about to spend 12 minutes talking about my hair. I mean, I could. I just love it. Oh, look, it just looks cute. But anyways, about the book. So I'm reading Adrian by Kenya Wright, okay? The book is like an alpha love story, right? I do not read descriptions. I read the title. I read, like, you know, on Kindle Unlimited they have like a little brief trope of what it is. I've read Kenya Wright before. Her name is very familiar. She wrote a mafia romance. I really messed with it, so I was like, I'm gonna try out her paranormal, because I'm really into paranormal right now. So I was like, okay, let me check this out. So first I started reading the book. The first sentence threw me all the way out. I don't know what this book is about, right? The book is, the main character walks in on her stepson, pleasing himself to her. I said, oh, okay, that's new. It made me gasp. I was like, oh, okay. I flipped the page and I screamed. There's a literal art of him doing said thing. Now, it said illustrated in the title. I'm thinking it's gonna be some cutesy pictures. I've never read like a book with illustrated art before. I've seen them going around, but like personally I've never read them before. I don't, they're really new. Like I don't know what I thought. I'm a little slow, right? I literally screamed. I flipped the page back to the first page. I couldn't. I was like, what? I had to look around in my own room. I'm like, anybody see that? Absolutely crazy bonkers. Okay. Whew. That was wild. I feel like I'm gonna give this book 5 stars. It's really short. It doesn't say how many pages it is. That's one thing I hate about Kindle, is sometimes it'll say like location instead of pages. I hate that. They should stop doing that. So I want to say 75 pages, 50 pages. I don't know. It's about to be really quick. I'm about to read this one. I'm gonna read the next one. It's literally 4 a.m. I'm about to go to bed, maybe. I don't know. I'm still cataloging all the books that I need to read. And then also I'm in a catalog of all the books I own, because I feel like I own, I don't know, like after going through my TBR and realizing I have a lot less books on my TBR than I thought, I'm starting to think like, how many books do I own? Because I'm thinking I own like 800, but it's not looking like that. Anyways, so I just finished this book. It was called Adrian by Kenya Wright. I gave it 3.5 stars. I actually really liked it. Like, I mean, usually when I give a book 3 stars, I like it, but like this is like a high 3 star, like almost a 4. So that was like a really smutty book. It was like very quick. It only took me like an hour and a half to read. It is, I was about to tell y'all it's about a black author, like fucking the bitch. It is about this woman. She's 35 and her husband is 50. Ew. Like, I do not know how women date men older than them. Like, I can only date a man, like, the man that I date has to be my age and like 5 years older. That's how I go. Like, you gotta be my age and 5 years older. I might date somebody a year younger than me. Might. I barely want to date somebody my age. You gotta be like a year or 2 older than me. That's max. I don't know. Older men creep me out. I don't know how y'all do it. Like, y'all are so brave. Like, braver than the Marines, I fear. Yes, her husband's 50, and one day she walks in on her stepson, or almost stepson, because it's not her husband, it's her fiance. She walks in on her almost stepson, pleasing himself, moaning her name. Well, pleasing himself, thinking about her. You know, he's thinking about her because he's saying her name, and it's in her bed. And she's like, what the? So she confronts him. Turns out he's been doing this. Like, this is something he does. The dad is never around. He's always remarried. So it's about them and like their little back and forth of him being like, you should be with me, and her being like, no, I'm marrying your dad, and being like, you should be with me. And then she finally gives in, and their scene was good. And then also there's a lot of art in there, and I just like, I need to read the Brutal Birthright series because that art was giving. Like, I think more books should do that, actually. I think they should. So all of that happens, and then there's like this, the reason why I gave it a 3.5 instead of 4 is because there's like this plot twist at the end. And it wasn't really, I mean, I guess it's a plot twist, but I guess it's not really. But like, there's like this scene at the end that I just was not fucking with. And then like the dad comes home and finds them, and he calls her a black B word. And I was like, whoa. I just feel like, even though I know the author was black and like I get the point of it, I just feel like, was that necessary? Like, I just feel like that was so unnecessary. And then like, it's like this plot twist. It's not really a plot twist. You just end up finding out that he has done this before, like with her, with his wives. And then they kind of have like a third act breakup, which like the book is already 170 pages. Like, you didn't need to do all of that. And then they end up together, and yeah, so that's why I gave it 3.5 stars. I want to read the third one because the second one just doesn't sound appealing to me. It's just like a one night stand. I don't care about one night stands. Like, I just don't, like, even in games we play, like, that was a good book. I just don't care about it. And I think it's because I'm such a lover girl, and I'm like, we have to get married. Like, if we do anything, like, we have to get married. Like, there's no such thing as a one night stand. Like, we're going to the chapel and we're gonna get married right after. Like, what do you mean one night? I just don't, my brain cannot comprehend it. Like, I think that's also why I don't like friends with benefits. Like, I just don't get it because I'm gonna fall in love with you. Like, if we're gonna be doing this, we might as well just be dating. I just don't understand. And like, I don't understand how people do friends with benefits because I'm gonna fall in love with you. And yeah, I just don't. I'm a lover girl, and I'm not gonna be one of those people who are gonna be like, oh, I'm just gonna like go along with it and have fun. No, because I can't have fun, because I'm gonna be wanting to marry you, and I can't be one of those people who like secretly, who agree to it, but they secretly want to be in a relationship with the other person. Or like, I know that if I were to do a friends with benefits, then one of us, me, would catch feelings later on at some point, and it would risk the guy, because men are heartless, not really caring, because you already getting the best of both worlds. Like, you don't have to be committed, which is not the best of both worlds, but like from male's perspective, okay, you don't have to have commitment, and you're getting, you know, benefits. So it's like, why would he want to settle down when he's already getting all the benefits? So I just don't see a point. I don't know how people do it. I just don't see a point. I don't see a point in one night stands, because men also benefit from that. I mean, women benefit from one night stands as well, I guess. But I don't want to get into my my feelings on hookup culture, because I actually think hookup culture is very dumb for me personally, and I just don't do hookup culture. But like, if that's your thing, then like, that's amazing. I love that for you. Like, women, I love women and their choices, but it's just not for me. But yeah, so I'm gonna go to bed. Maybe there's a book that I'm gonna start. It's called the Game Plan. I don't really know what it's called, but swirl, as always. Imagine I just get canceled because of this video of me always reading swirl romance. I read a black romance. I'm gonna read another one. It's gonna be the YA book. I love YA black romances. They just give. Not saying adults don't give either, but YA romances, they've been doing their thing. They've been doing their thing. I kind of gotta fuck with them, bro. I have a lot of energy right now for somebody who should be going to bed. Okay, my hair looks a little bit crazy, but I'm not about to spray my hair with water just so I can like fix it, okay? So it's fine. As we can see, okay, so we're on day 3. This morning I started a book. I woke up at 12 p.m. Today I started a book called Getting His Game Back. I quickly DNF'd it. I only got like an hour into it and I just wasn't feeling it. It was a lot of talk about like the main character, like it's an interracial romance and the main character like doesn't really date white guys, and like they just, first of all, in the hour within reading it, they just kept talking about that. And like the way that they, sorry, my cat is going to town on her water. And like the way that they met like wasn't really that serious. Probably be like, I don't really date white guys. And it's like, it's fine if you don't date white guys, but it's like, that's whole, I mean, I'm saying it's fine, like I feel like it's whatever, you know, like it's not that big of a deal. But to keep writing that in your book and to keep telling us like, yeah, I don't really date white guys and like she's so picky and like all this stuff, it's just like, I don't want to read that shit, okay? Don't want to read that shit. So I decided to read Happily Ever Afters. It's a YA book, so I'm reading that right now. It's actually pretty interesting so far. Black YA romances are kind of, they're kind of giving. Yeah, so it's pretty good so far. So I'm doing that. I might clean up my room today. It's really warm outside, and I'm thinking of buying a meditation pillow. So I want to clean up my room because I cannot see my floor. So I am 30% into Happily Ever Afters with an S, and I'm liking it so far. But I find the main character very, very, very insecure, and it's kind of annoying. Like, I know that teens are insecure, but I think it's because I've just been so like spoiled and used to teens just being like I don't know, they don't think much about like themselves or their self-image in the YA books that I've read and enjoyed, like Highly Suspicious and Fairly Cute, or Good Girls, Confession of an Alleged Good Girl, sorry. Yeah, those two books. So they really talk about like self, like image, and if they did, it wasn't like out of like insecurity, even though she doesn't really talk about her self-image either. Like, she loves her hair, it's like very important to her. Like, she's more so insecure about her writing, and it's very annoying. And as someone who like overthinks, I definitely understand it, but I just feel like it's really fucking annoying, and it comes off like in a self-sabotaging way. So it's about this girl, and she's a writer, she's a teen, and she gets into like this good school, and they have like this good like writing program. So she also has like a crush on this boy, like random boy that she like met. Like, okay, like fine, whatever. She just found out he has a girlfriend, so wonder how that's gonna go. I also think that she should be with the guy Sam, who like goes to her school. He's like really weird and he's a nerd. I think that they like already have better chemistry. I hope they end up together because it would just make more sense for them than Nico, because you know. But she's very like self-sabotaging. Like, she's just so insecure about her writing. She thinks that like Sam, he bakes. Also, the way that the author described his baking was like so perfect. And as someone who bakes, like, he talked about browning his butter, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, I know what you mean, like, yes. And he like, she even described browning your butter like perfectly, and how that helps like whatever you're baking. Like, it just makes it just gives it that extra oomph. And I just love that, and maybe that's why I want her with Sam, because I like him, not like I love his character. So yeah, but she like they were talking about it, and she was too embarrassed to tell him that she was a writer. And I'm like, let's not, like, come on now. And then, which I understand, but then she gets into this writing class, and she just thinks she's inferior to everybody else because she writes romance. Like, it hasn't been said, but like basically, like, she's like, oh, everybody else writes these serious things, and like I write romance and I don't want to tell anyone. And it's just like, come on, like, can we get over that rhetoric that like people who read and write romance are lesser than other people? And I understand, like, I get it. Like, I don't want, because like I hate when I say something in a video and people completely misconstrue it, and I can say what I'm trying to say a million times, but people hear what they want to hear. But I don't, like, I understand that she's a teenager, and I get it. Like, that's not, like, I understand, but it's just like something about it is just really irritating me. Like, I feel like the author really wanted you to know that she's insecure about her writing, but she went a little overboard with it. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Okay, because like the main character, like, being insecure, like, she's a teenage girl. Like, I was insecure when I was a teenager. I had a lot of acne. I still have a lot of acne. I was very insecure about it. I didn't get confident until I turned 20. So it's like, I definitely understand. And she's not even insecure about how she looks. Like, she might say something about, like, you know, her pimples or whatever, but that's understandable because she's a teenage girl. But what really irritates me is the writing thing. Like, that really, like, the way that the author writes it really pisses me off. I'm not gonna lie. Like, she makes her so insecure. Like, every other scene is totally fine. Like, when it's like about them planning to get with the guy, every other scene I find absolutely perfect. Like, I am obsessed. Like, I love it. But once she gets into that writing class, or how she feels about writing, I check out. I'm like, okay, like, this is too fucking much for me. Like, even like, she stopped writing for a few days because she felt very insecure. And then there was this scene where she was like talking about all these romance books, and like she hasn't written any romance in a minute, so she's trying to like get her inspiration, her fuel. She's basically saying how there's not a lot of like she was saying, talking about her favorite books, and she basically was saying there's not a lot of black authors without saying it. She's like, oh, like, these are all my favorite books, but none of the girls look like me. And I'm like, the amount of like this book came out like 2 years ago, the amount of black YA contemporary romance books that were out by then, and you're like, oh, not a lot of these girls look at me. So that's when you have to take a look within yourself and be like, oh, okay, versus being like, oh, because like that's basically what the book was trying to say, like, without saying it. Like, basically, I could be wrong, and that's not what the book is trying to say, but whatever, that's not what the book is trying to, or at least the main character, I won't say the book, but even if that's not what she's trying to say, she still told on herself and just said like a lot of her favorite books aren't books by black authors. Because like, if this book came out like 7 years ago, I'll be like, oh, okay, felt, I understand. But there's so many YA romance books that have came out by then. But other than that, like, I feel like I'm gonna give this like a 3.5 stars, because I think it's really cute. I really love like the family. Like I think it's like a well-rounded story. The only thing that's pissing me off is when the author writes about the main character writing. And at first I thought it was really cute. I'm like, okay, like it's really fun. Like the descriptions are good or whatever. But how insecure she is about her writing really just. I've literally not read that much since I've last been here. But like, I really need to talk about this book, okay? I feel like Tessa needs therapy. Like at this point she's so like insecure and self-sabotaging, and like she needs therapy. Like I don't know if that was the author's intention, or if like she really was like, oh, I really want, like she was too focused on making this character a certain way, because the way that Tessa thinks actually pisses me off. And I mean, I guess that's not fair, but it's like, it's not okay. Like, okay, so her brother is neurodivergent, and sorry, I'm out of breath, and he got outside, and she was like driving home from school, and he got outside and he was like freaking out because his CD player broke. So his mom was trying to calm him down, and the neighbors are looking at them, and Tessa's like, well, maybe we should give him some headphones. And her mom is like, oh, like she's like, oh, well, are you too embarrassed of your brother? And she's like, no, but like all these, she's thinking at this point, she's like, no, but like all these people are like looking at us. You're embarrassed. Like I get it. The worry of like, at first she was worried about like somebody calling the police on them. I understood that, but that was not her issue, because that's not what she expressed. She only expressed that one time. The worry was that all these neighbors were outside looking at them, and she's like, oh, well, like I'm not embarrassed, but like, you know, whatever. Your brother is having a literal panic attack, and you're sitting here like, oh, everyone's like, looking at us. You're worried about how everyone's looking at you. Like, come on, let's be real. But that's all she worries about. She worries about how people see her. And then the part that really made me be like, okay, Tessa needs therapy, is her mom was about to say something to her. Like, I don't remember exactly what her mom said, but her mom was about to say something, and she was like, oh, like, was she gonna call me a disappointment? Was she gonna say that she wished she only had one child to worry about? And it's like, I hate when people do that. Like, that's shown in TV shows a lot, where like a character does not say something, and then someone else takes that and they're like, okay, well, you clearly meant this. Because the same thing happened when she was talking to her friend. Like, she said something to her friend, and her friend, you know, said something back, and she was like, oh, but maybe she clearly meant this. That's not what she said. No one said that. I hate when people, it's like my biggest pet peeve. Like, if I didn't say it, and like obviously she's not saying these back, so I get it. But it's like, if I didn't say something, why are you assuming the next thing? You know what we say about assuming? It makes an ass out of you and me. And it's just like, it's just so annoying. And also, now that it's been introduced that Nico has a girlfriend, she's flat out trying to steal somebody's man. And like, I'm okay with a little bit of cheating trope. I'm not like how I used to be, where I used to like hate the cheating trope. If it gives, it's like, it's fine. But it doesn't give. And also, it's like she's trying to make an enemy out of Nico's girlfriend, when she's always been an issue. Like, you're new to this school, you don't know these people, you just found out that Nico has a girlfriend, and you're like on the phone with your friend, like, oh, well, like, well, let's look at their pictures. Oh, he typed LUV instead of love. Like, he clearly isn't like. And I will say this is the best friend, but obviously she's gonna keep trying to date him, because she found out that he had a girlfriend, and then she like tripped or whatever. She's like, oh, part of the plan worked. And I'm like, well, why do you care about a plan if he has a girlfriend? I'm really hoping that she ends up with Sam in this book and not Nico, because, and I really hope it's one of those books where, which will serve, my favorite trope is like when a character is in love with someone else, and then like another character ends up coming in, and they either fake date, or they just start hanging out more, and they start to realize that the person that they were in love with, they had like rose colored glasses on towards them, or they thought this person was an amazing person, but like they don't. Basically like the Duff or like the Wattpad story, the Bad Boys Girl. So I'm hoping that's what's gonna happen. Because right now the ratings are like a 3-star, because I don't like how, and honestly, even if like she ends up with somebody else that's not Nico, I don't like how they're treating Poppy, the actual girlfriend, because you're new to this town, you don't know these people, and you're new to this school. Like, I could understand if, I could just barely understand if, you know, you've been going to this school for years and they just start dating, and you know this girl's a bitch. You don't know Poppy from a can of paint, and you're sitting over here like, oh, like, She's trying to give her man. I can't respect it. And you get them how you lose them, bro. Like, I can't respect it. I'm not fucking with it. I'm not fucking with it. Like, I don't hate the book or anything, but Tessa pisses me all the way off. Tessa pisses me all the way off. I do want to read the author's other 2 books. I probably will read the second book in the series today. But Tessa, working my last fucking nerve, bro. I can't. Like, I can't with her. So I finished my book, and I'm going to be giving it 3 stars. I forgot to turn my light on. Bluetooth mode. So I'm going to be giving it... Okay, so... I finished my book and I'm going to be giving it 3 stars. I thought it was just okay. I found the main character really annoying. I mean, the purpose... Okay, I'm glad that, like, Nico was not the love interest because he actually started to get, like, problematic. Honestly. He started, like... I don't know. But obviously, like, there was a point in that. And, like, Sam was just, like, a great pick from the jump. I knew that. I saw that. Like, we all saw that. So, like, love-wise, the book was good. But this book is compared to, like, it's like Jane the Virgin meets the Auto Boys all before. It's not that. It's neither. Okay? It's neither. Just because somebody is a writer does not mean they're like Jane the Virgin. Like, don't do that ever again. I don't mess with, Homegirl who played Jane, but Jane the Virgin is my shit. I'm going to take a break. I'm actually starting like a secret vlog that I've been wanting to do since the summer, but I just like get scared because people on BookTube, like, they say they BookTube isn't creative and they want creative videos, but then when you do creative stuff, no one watches it. But there's this series that I wanted to start, and I've talked about this before, but I have this fear of, like, if I don't do something immediately when I get the idea, that someone else is gonna do it. And I think I talked about this in my 2022 releases, and a lot of people were like, oh, I think this isn't anything new, whatever. That low-key hurt my feelings because I want to be the first one to do it. That's the thing. I want to be the first and I want to be the best. That's the problem. But I've been working on telling myself, like, even if somebody else does it, doesn't mean you can as well. But yeah, I had this vlog idea and I scrapped it because I was like, nah. But I've low-key, like, it's like a bunch of books, like, it's like a whole series. And so whenever I look at one of the books on a series, like, I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna read it because I'm waiting for this series. But you just canceled it. So I'm going to start that series instead, just for fun, just because I can get out the way, that I can see how it goes, because I have so many books on my list that I want to read, so many books that I actually own that I want to read. So we're gonna get to that. But yeah, that's it for tonight. The book that I'm reading is not a black author, so I'm gonna be done with that. It's a 10-hour book, so I probably will check back in tomorrow. I did find a paranormal alien, like, demon romance. It's a black girl. She's plus size as well. The issue was that it said low angst, and, like, I was excited. I was like, oh yeah, this looks so good. The cover, the description, it said low angst. You lost me. I'm not a fluff girl. I need high angst. I need all angst. What do you mean low? What do you mean low angst? But I'm gonna give it a read anyways. I'm still excited for it, so I'm gonna read that tomorrow. I think tomorrow I'm gonna finally finish the Princess Bride trilogy, just so I can get that out the way, just so I can, like, you know, lock that series right on up. And then I don't know, because I say I want to do a lot of things, but I never do. So we'll see. But that's what I want to do. Hey, so it is now actually Monday. The readathon is way over. I didn't vlog. What was, like, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I didn't vlog Thursday and Friday because I was filming my other vlog, which was me reading old BookTube, like, popular books that were popular on BookTube. It was me launching my series that I had been planning since January. I absolutely love that video, so definitely go check it out. I read The Winter's Curse, Poison Study. No, that's not the book I read. I read Cruel Beauty and If We Were Liars. So if you want to see my thoughts and opinions on those books, definitely go and check them out. But yeah, I am here to basically wrap up the video. It only took me like 2 days to film that one, but Saturday was grocery shopping day, so I never really read on grocery shopping day just because we always end up sleeping in late, and then we don't actually grocery shop that long, but I don't know, we always end up like hanging out and stuff. And then Sunday, we all hung out, and me and my sister and my brother were watching Hotel Hell with Gordon Ramsay. It was my first Gordon Ramsay show I've ever seen. I really like that man. He's kind of funny. And then we got tired of that, so we ended up watching a show called Extraordinary on Hulu, and that was pretty good. At first I was not liking it, but it's actually a pretty good, like, weird little show. And then I started rewatching Melissa and Joey, which is like one of my favorite sitcoms of all time. But yeah, so I did end up reading some more. I end up getting a bingo across and then down. So I end up finding this Mafia series written by Black authors. It's an anthology series with 29 books, so I definitely recommend checking it out. I think they're all interracial. I think mine is like maybe one. I think they're all interracial. They're all written by Black women. And it's called the Savage Bloodline series. It follows this Italian family called the DeLucas. They have like some people in Italy. They have some people in Italy, some people in America, and it just like follows like different characters written by Black authors. And I really like it. A few years ago, I read this series called like Black Mountain Academy, and it was an anthology series following like, it was like a high school, like they're like high school romances back when I used to read those. I don't read them anymore. Yeah, so they were all like high school romances, and I really love that series. My only few gripes about that series was the fact that it felt like the authors didn't really agree on, they didn't talk about anything beforehand, because like one of the romances, which I hated, I gave it 2 stars, felt like a principal and a student, which was disgusting. But and they like, when they would talk about the principal, they never they were never on the, like, the principal had like a different name, or like when they would be like, yeah, he's the most popular boy in school. Okay, but I just read another book with the most popular boy in school, so how y'all all the most popular boy in school? Like, how y'all all the bad boy? Like, it just seemed like the authors really didn't meet and agree on anything. They were like, hey, just write what you want to write. Listen, I gotta speak fast because my camera's about to die and the sun is about to go down. Time is against me for real. Okay, so I read this. Okay, so the series I was reading was called Savage Bloodline. I read 3 books at the time. I've now read like 7 of them bitches. I'm having fun. All written by Black authors, all mafias. I also found a motorcycle club series by Black authors too. It's called Sin City Motorcycle Club, or Sin City MC. Check that out. I'm about to check that out too. Well, except the first one is not written by Black authors, but the rest of them are, I believe. But yeah, so I got introduced to a bunch of new Black authors. I'm going to be checking out their other books. So yeah, I read a lot of books this week. I ended up completing 2 bingos. I had a lot of fun. So yeah, thank you for watching. I hope that you joined. I hope you'll join next year if me and Deja decide to do it again. And I'll see you guys in my next video.